Welcome, this is section 9.5 homework problems. So let's go ahead and start with 9.5 is all about finding the derivatives. So let's go ahead and start with the first problem. I screenshotted some of your homework problems here. So let's go ahead and take a look. So here I'm trying to find the derivative of a constant. Remember, derivative is rate of change, and there is no rate of change for a constant. So the derivative of -6 is 0. So that's as simple as that. Derivative of a constant is a 0. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the next one. Derivatives are one of my favorites. So here I have d by dx. That's how sometimes you represent it as f prime of x, or sometimes you say d by dx of the function itself. Okay, there are multiple ways of representing it, but ultimately you're trying to find your derivative of the function. So let's go ahead and start with the formula. So d by dx of x to the power n is n times x to the power n minus 1. So when I look closer here, I do have my x, I do have my n. So derivative of this function is going to be n, which is 13, x stays x, 13 minus 1, which is 13 x to the power 12. And that is your answer. Let's see if it matches. Yes, it does. All right. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the next one. Let's see, where is the next one? Right here. And again, in this function is represented as g, but still doesn't matter. The derivative, the formula for d by dx of x to the power n is n times x to the power n minus 1. And I have my x, I have my n. So here the answer is going to be n, which is 2/3 times x, 2/3 minus 1. And keep in mind, 2/3 minus 1 is -1/3. So when I write all of that together, my answer is going to be 2/3 x to the power -1/3. And my answer matches. All right. Again, it's all based on this formula, n times x to the power n minus 1. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the other problem here. So I have d by dx, x to the power 8 divided by 40. So this 40 is just a constant there, and it's a quotient. So I'm just going to leave it as it is. So what's going to happen is I'm going to go ahead and write down my 40 here. And I have my x, I have my n. So it's n x to the power n minus 1, which is 8 x to the power 7 divided by 40. And now 8 goes into 45 times. My final answer would be x to the power 7 divided by 5. And the answer matches. So if you see a constant, just bring the constant over until you finally simplify the constant. As simple as that. All right. Let's go ahead and take a look at another problem. Let me start with this one. For problems like this, the first thing I would like to do is to simplify it as much as I can. So when I simplify this problem, and I want you to focus what I'm doing here. If you followed my previous videos, I always like to divide each and every term with the divider. So x power 5 over x squared minus 9 x power 4 over x squared plus 4 over x squared. X squared x5 gives me x cubed minus 9 x2 x4 gives me x2 plus 4. I'm going to change it to a negative power because I'm bringing it to the top. Now let's go ahead and find the derivative of each and every term. X cubed, what is that going to be? It's going to be 3 because n times x to the power 3 minus 1, and that is 3x squared. Now the next one is going to be minus, which is 9x squared. 9 is a constant, it stays. The derivative of x squared is 2. times 2, x to the power 2 minus 1. And now what happens? Negative 9 times 2 is negative 18. 2 minus 1 is 1. And now the derivative of 4, x to the power negative 2. 4 stays 4, remember? And derivative of x to the power negative 2 is negative 2, x to the power negative 2 minus 1. And now when I multiply positive 4 times negative 2, I get negative 8. 2 minus negative 2, negative 1 is negative 3. And that is my final answer. The key here is taking your time to work with the problems and make sure you understand all of them. That's all. And as you can see, oops, never mind. And as you can see, they match. Now let's go ahead and do this one. I don't have the numbers, but again, as simple as it is, I'm going to start with the first term here, which is 5x to the negative 5. I'm going to bring it down 5. Derivative of x to the negative 5 is times, remember, times negative 5, x to the negative 5 minus 1. And now the next one is 7x to the power negative 1. So plus 7 stays 7. Derivative of x to the negative 1 is negative 1. X to the negative 1 minus 1. Now let's go ahead and see if we can combine these. 5 times negative 5 is negative 25. X to the power negative 5 negative 1 is negative 6. Negative 7 times negative 1 is negative 7. X to the power negative 1 is negative 2. And as you can see, my answer matches. All right. Again, if you're having confusion, I want you to pause, rewind, or slow it down based on your requirement. Let's move on to the last problem, which is this. It kind of looks complicated, but this is the most easiest one. Let me show you how. 9x plus 1 whole squared. To keep my life simple, what I will do is I will go ahead and expand. And what do I get? I get 81x squared plus 18x plus 1. And now all you're doing is finding the derivative of this term. So just by expanding it makes your life so much more easier. So this is going to be 81. Derivative of x squared is 2. X to the power 2 minus 1 plus 18. Derivative of x is 1, so I don't have to write that down. When I simplify this, 81 times 2 is 162. 2 minus 1 is 1 plus 18. And that is your final answer. And as you can see, the answer matches, and there you have it. I just bought these stickers for 99 cents, so I want to go ahead and use them. All right, hope this helps.